I'm inviting you all along on the ride because, it's a Friday. It's noon-ish, 1:30 in some places, noon 30 in others. And so I just want to update you guys on what I've been up to because I'm really, really, really excited about what I just did. So if you're coming on to the Facebook, because I have it streaming to Facebook, I have it streaming to my private group at Shift Queens. It's streaming on YouTube. It's streaming on IG. Hey, IG is streaming on TikTok. And so if you comment, I won't necessarily be able to see. Oh, I actually see a couple people. Nope, that was me commenting on me. But anyway, it's been a minute since I've done a live, and I wanted to commit to coming back live more often because I know that sometimes when I'm most resisting going live, that's when I have more of a message for the people, right? That's usually when there's something that I'm supposed to be doing and I get a little resistant. And so I know at that point that I really need to lean into that. So this is me leaning into going live and keeping you guys updated on what I'm doing. Now, for those of you who don't know me, like TikTok and IG doesn't know me quite like my Facebook family does. Now, YouTube doesn't know me because when I tell you, YouTube be coming for your girl. Hey, Kate, how are you? YouTube be coming for your girl, y'all. It'd be funny, but they be coming for me. Okay, so I might be able to see some of these comments here. Oops, here you go. But anyway, my name is Rhonda Gipson-Willis. I am a licensed therapist. I'm also a certified coach. And if you follow me on TikTok, you probably know me because I'm 52 years old. I'm recently divorced after almost 30 years together. Like we were together almost 30 years. I left like 2 days before our 25th wedding anniversary, but we were together for a lot longer. And so I've been sharing my story on the interwebs. And I think when you do that, right, I have a history of going live. I used to go to live maybe 3-4 times a week. And then I started getting into this season and I didn't really go live as much. But then when I popped back up, so IG and TikTok basically knows me as the divorce lady, right? Like I've just been going through this divorce. But I've been a certified coach for 10 years. I've been a licensed therapist, a licensed clinical social worker for 20 years. I'm not looking to do therapy, so please don't hit me up if you want therapy. But if you're looking for a therapist, I do have a link on one of my pages that can help you find a therapist for you. So with that being said, I've decided to show back up, right? I'm going to show back up. And here's what I learned. The more I show up, the more that people are coming for me, which is fine because I'm completely 100% okay with the people who come to me, who come for me because there's nothing to come for, because I pretty much put it all out there. Oh, Lord, somebody on TikTok just said to me, "You're pretty for a colored girl." Honey, how old are you? YT son. Yes, I'm with you, Blue Jay. She said a colored girl. Honey, I'm a black woman, but okay. I'm going to assume that you meant no harm with that, but for future reference, you may not want to refer to a black woman as a colored girl. But thank you. Anyway, so I've been, I show up and I say these things, and I'm a coach, so I have a lot of coaching clients, right? I have coaching clients that I see, and every so often I say some really profound things to them. And there was a time where I would show up online and I would do that more often. So I'm committed to doing that more often. So my goal is to really come in here and share kind of, more parts of my journey and what I'm doing. So with that being said, y'all, I hear some boom booms out, right? I'm living in the burbs. It's real quiet over here. I hear some boom booms. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? I look out the window and it is the Amazon man. So I got real excited because I get excited every time I see the Amazon man because he usually has something for me. Oh, Lord. Dennis said, look at those big old lips. TikTok is wilding, y'all. TikTok is wilding. Thank you, IG, for being calm, cool, and collective. YouTube, Facebook. This is so here's what I want to speak to. Because part of I recognize that my purpose, right? It comes with a lot of I'm going to be out and about there more often. And so, okay, Dennis says it's a compliment. I think it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's what my mama used to say, Dennis. But thank you for the compliment. But what I find is the more you put yourself out there, the more likely you are that people are going to come for you. And oftentimes, the people who will come for me are people who completely my message is not for. If you look on any of my social media pages, if particularly my TikTok, where I'm really going really hard out there on the platform as being a divorced woman over 50, right after decades in a relationship. The majority of the feedback that I get and the comments are very positive, very, 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 very positive. And they are typically along the lines of, oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing. I've been suffering. I'm paraphrasing. I've been suffering in silence, which is what I believe that my platform is to help people to come out from the darkness, right? To not suffer in silence. And so I've been very transparent about my journey. But I recognize that when you step up to do things like that, you're going to have opposition. And some of the opposition is going to look like negativity. Some of the opposition is going to look like people misconstruing your motives, right? I've had people, literally somebody on my IG the other day, I posted a video of myself and my 19-year-old daughter, who is, that girl is deep. That girl, she can dance. Okay, I'll go back to that. So, my daughter could dance. If you've been on Facebook, you know, like I've been talking about my daughter dancing since she was 6 years old. Like this is her purpose. This is her gift. This is what, you know, I'm a dream pusher. So we've been pushing that dream. Somebody commented on my YouTube page that I was basically using my daughter. Like, how desperate of me to use my daughter. And I'm like, I find it hilarious because when people who are speaking to you don't know you, like you don't take any of that. I'm not taking any of that shit in. Like I'm not taking it. It doesn't bother me. It amuses me. It makes me laugh. And I've had people who are very well meaning get on my Facebook and say things to me like, Rhonda, why would you even address that? For the most part, I tend not to address the truth directly. I tend to expose. I do it for the same reason that I exposed when people were on my page talking about and speaking and spewing racism or being very disrespectful about different things. And I basically put a warning out there like, yo, if I see this on my feed, just know I'm coming for you. It quieted my feed up. It quieted my feed up. You know what I noticed? I noticed that when I made the post on TikTok about how these men are coming at me and how, because they're coming at me, I understand that they are insecure and they are projecting, right? Because we see right through it. And actually, I have another TikTok that's coming because the men's have started coming again. But when I posted that, guess what happened? The negative comments from the trolls decreased. They settled down. And so when people say, "Why are you giving that energy?" It doesn't break a sweat for me to give that energy. It's establishing a boundary. It's establishing a boundary. And I think so often we standing up for ourselves and creating healthy boundaries under the guise of, oh, I'm not going, you know, if I act like that bothers me, I don't want people to think that bothers me. Please, no, it does not bother me. I am in the least bit bothered. I ain't bothered, y'all. I ain't bothered, not at all. Highly amused, but I also recognize that for every person who comments something negative that I may miss, that there is a woman who is experiencing that in real life. There's a woman who has someone who is saying those same exact things to her, and she doesn't have the verbiage to come back. And so I'm giving you ammunition. I'm giving you ammunition, and I'm doing it from a place where your girl is cool. And so with that being said, the majority of what I do, right, the majority of what I do as a coach is I help people to actualize and break through, right? I help people to actualize and break through. And so over the last couple of months, I recognized that I need to be more intentional about that. And so one of the things that I did, y'all, that I'm super excited about is I created a journal. Now, those of you who've been with me long enough, you know I created a healing ebook. Like I have a healing ebook. If you go to healebook.com, you can get that. But I actually created a journal. Y'all want to see it? Hard copy. Drum roll, please. at it. It's called the journal. I know you can't see it. It's called the journal. And in the journal, right, I intentionally made it for people who are going through a healing journey and really need to get back to themselves. As a coach, what I find is most people don't really know who they are. So when they start to heal, they have to start the process of rediscovering. And sometimes you're rediscovering who you are after you've been hurt, right? After you've been in a relationship, after you've been in something where you've had a bit of an identity crisis. And I'll tell you, I'm a pretty introspective person, but coming up out of my marriage and reckoning with the fact that I was no longer a wife, right? I've been a wife all my adult life. Like, I'm no longer a wife. Thank you. I'm no longer a wife. Like, I'm just Rhonda at this point. All of my children are grown. They're adults. They don't need me in the same way that they needed me before. And so coming into allowing myself to reintroduce myself to myself was important. And I couldn't do that without intentionality. So what I do is I created a journal, right? A journal, 30 days. And if you spend 30 days with this journal intentionally, 30 days straight, it's going to change your life. Why? Because anytime you are setting intention, right? That sounds redundant. Anytime you are intentional about spending time with yourself and diving deep, you're able to do that. So let me tell you a little bit about this journal, right? So the journal starts with, it gives you a little how to use this journal at the beginning, but it starts with some pre-work. Like, you need to like really dive in, envision your dreams again, release your past, right? Release your past, because some of us are stuck in what happened yesteryear, happened decades ago. And until you allow yourself to release that, you will never allow yourself to walk into your future. It has some important things to do, like reclaiming your dreams, rating your circle. Listen, because sometimes you're not really depressed. You're just surrounded by a bunch of assholes. You're just surrounded by a bunch of people who just don't know how to carry your weight, right? I see you, Andrea. I see you. So this allows you to do some pre-work and then also explore, reset your intentions about several areas of your life: your mind, your spirit, your body, your home environment, finances. Like, really get granular with it and decide what it is that you want out of your life, right? So then we get to the meat of it, right? You start day one off. And every other day after day, right? So I don't know if you can see that. Day one looks exactly the same. You set the date. You decide what your goal for the day is going to be. Is your goal going to be to express gratitude, to move your body, to do meditation, to journal, to do all of that? Is that your intention? And then in the morning, right? In the morning, you set intention. And then in the evening, you reflect upon the intention and see where you're at. Hey, Brownie, who are you? Who are you, Brownie? Tell me what your real name is. Because you said, hey, finally got your live. So you decide what it is that you're looking for, and you establish gratitude. Now, why is this important? Why is it important to establish gratitude? And why is it important to do it every day? Now, if you've been in any of my trainings, because I'm also a leadership development coach and I'm a leadership trainer. And hello there, Delilah. Well, I train on a variety of topics, but if you know me long enough, you know that I've talked about the part of our brain that sets us up to see what it is that we're looking for. It's called the reticular activating system. And the way the reticular activating system works is it brings to light to you what you focus on. So when you set your intention every day, and let's say the first day I set my intention on, my life is beautiful and full of blessings. Throughout the day, you're going to see beautiful things, and the way that your life is a blessing will be amplified. That's the way that it works. It's not woo-woo. It's science. It's physiology. Like, we have a part of our brain that does that. If you're not familiar with the reticular activating system, look it up, but that's how it works. And so you would do that every day in this journal. But what you'll also do is you'll answer some questions that I've given you, right? So I'm real good as a coach, as a therapist. I think that my superpower is in my questions. I ask really good questions. My favorite question is actually not in here because I'm saving it for something else. But my favorite question to ask people is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you weren't afraid? So, here's a question for day two. Day two, I jump right in, right? Day two, the journal prompt is the area of my life where I'm cheating myself most is, and then you just start writing, and you write until you can't write anymore. You just free flow. You free flow the journal, right? You free flow the journal, and you don't think about what it is that you're writing, because that would allow what's in you to come out. What's in you to come out. That allows what's in you to come out. And oftentimes, the difference between where you're at and where you're meant to be is in the questions that are asked. I think I should put this up somewhere, right? I should put this so y'all can see it. Okay, so they can see it right there. Look, never mind. I have more. Look, for every version that wants to see it, y'all can see the journal. But yeah, so sometimes when I ask the right questions, which is why I talk about therapy so much. So I was on a live on TikTok yesterday, and someone said therapy isn't all it's cracked up to be. And I said, very well, therapy can be all that it's cracked up to be if you have the right therapist. If you have the right therapist. Go, Jay. Jay said higher. Pick it up higher. And if anyone's looking for a link to this, it's on if you go to my website, RhondaGipson-Willis.com, literally my name, RhondaGipson-Willis.com, it'll get you there. And I'll show you guys on StreamYard how to get it on Facebook and all of that. RhondaGipson-Willis.com with a P. And yes, I divorced, and like Tina, I kept my name. That was the only thing I wanted. In spite of the man who came in and said that I only divorced my husband to get half. People are real interesting. Hey, cuz, what's up? Hey, Mike. So someone, he was saying that, therapy wasn't all it's cracked up to be. But here's the thing: when you're in the process of therapy with a therapist that you get that understands you, that's a good that you're compatible with, because like I'm a dope ass therapist for a certain type of people. Like I'm not the therapist for everybody. I'm a horrible therapist for certain type of people, but for those type, so it really is about finding the people who work for you. All right, so KT Bug said, I'm in therapy too, and it's been so helpful in my healing and spiritual journey. Absolutely, absolutely. And all a therapist is, right? If you have a therapist who is the therapist for you, basically all that is an objective person who holds space for you. Like they have no cat, no dog in the race. They're not there they won't get upset with you based on what you say. They won't judge you. Like as a therapist, I've had people say to me, I've never told anybody else this. I just told you my deepest, darkest secret and you didn't flinch. Because I'm like, yeah, my job is not to hold judgment. Like so as a therapist, right? If you're in therapy, if you're in the process, but the journey works really well when you have really good questions. And sometimes what's keeping us from our breakthrough is we don't spend enough time with ourselves. We don't spend enough time diving deep into what it is that we need to know about ourselves. And so I created this journal as a way to get it. Now, my one-on-one sessions are $225 an hour or a session. Or you could buy this book for $25 and get some Rhonda in you. And so along with that, I'm also planning on doing some additional offerings for people who want to do the work and trust me enough to help you along in that process. For those of you who are on Shift Queens, who are familiar with my office hours, I do office hours. I've done them once a month. I've taken office hours out of my Shift Queens group and I'm moving into a Patreon group. And the Patreon group is like, there's a $10 and then there's a $25 option. If you get in there, having a next office hours, and basically my office hours is ask me anything. And so in there, I'll be doing some trainings, right? Because again, I'm a therapist, I'm a coach, I'm a corporate trainer. I'm going to be doing some trainings as it relates to not formal trainings because I'm saving that for other things. Because you're only going to get so much for $25 a month, but it's going to be enough where it will have a positive impact on your life. That link is also at RhondaGipson-Willis.com for the Patreon group. But I will be having the Ask Me Anything. For those of you who have questions for me, thank you, Deborah. Deborah said, darling, my sister's name was Rhonda. Your desire to help and confidence remind me of her. I love that. So knowing that uh, sometimes I have with the office hours, sometimes we have mini coaching sessions, laser coaching. And another thing that I'm working on, y'all, here's another thing I'm working on, because I'm coming out blazing. I'm coming out blazing. So I'm going to be working on a book, but I'm also working on a talk show. I'm working on a talk show where I'm going to be having conversation and some live coaching with people who are in the process. Now, in order to be on that, right, you have to be willing to be interviewed and for the interview to be public. But that's something I'm really looking forward to doing, and that's something that God has spoken to me several times over the course of this last year or so. I just haven't been real obedient in doing it, so I'll be launching that. It's going to be a super cool concept. I'm going to have 5 blanket questions that I typically ask, but if you know me, I'm going to ask a couple different more questions. Yes, I know that was redundant. Hey, Michael, I miss you too. A couple different other questions as it arises, but my goal is really to help people get to their breakthrough. Like, I've come to this side, right? I've come to the promised land. I'm like Moses. I'm like Harriet Tubman. I want to come back and bring my people. I want to come back and bring my people. I had someone on YouTube say to me in a comment, right, who doesn't know me, that I was lying. Basically called me a bold-faced lie and said that there was no woman who was 50 years old who was living her best life. Honey, here's what I recognize, that when people have not had an experience, they're only basing their opinions based on their limited view. And so I want to expand the view for some people. There's someone out there who maybe doesn't believe, maybe believes that she's too old to live her best life, or he's too old, because the Patreon group, Shift Queens, is just for women. The Patreon group is for women and men. Men can get in it too, because I found that as much as I was talking about this thing, hey, Cynthia, miss you, love you too, that men were showing up. And not just the men who were being toxic and, saying really inappropriate things, but men were showing up and saying, you know what? Like, I need some help with this as well. Because here's what I understand. This journey of healing, right? It starts with an event, but then it goes through. So last night I revisited, right? I revisited some old documentation. I'll say that. I revisited some old documentation. Early on in my separation, I revisited that because I document everything. I keep a lot of things. I take pictures of stuff. Like, I like to be able to go back and see. And so I revisited, and there was a particular audio clip. And when I listened to it, I heard pain from my voice. I heard anger. I heard pain. And what it did was it reminded me of just how far I've come. Yes, Lady Ronaldin. Yes, I believe living one's best life is a state of mind. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And that's what people lose the concept of. I can be divorced and happy. I am happier than I've ever been in my whole entire life. I am happier than I've ever been in my whole entire life. And that was only because I did the work to get my breakthrough. But part of the breakthrough, I had a few breakdowns. It was rough. It's not easy. It's not easy. So Brownie says, I'm 55. My life was renewed each day and breathing after 26-year marriage and 30 years together. Yes, Cynthia said. It was journey, not your destination. Absolutely. And I also believe that part of why I experienced a lot of the things I've experienced over the last 5 years was so that I can show up and help others. God has already told me that he was going to elevate my voice. And part of him elevating my voice is not just so that I could be heard. It's so that I could be impactful. I've been impactful. For those who know me, for the Facebook people, I showed up. I showed up in my darkest moments, and I was still blessed the people with what God was blessing through me. Like, God was giving me things that weren't for me. They were to come through me and to other people. And I was showing up. And now there's the healthier healer version of me. And in that healthier healer version, I'm not going to shy away from showing up and showing other people that there is a way. There's a way to get through the pain. There's a way to get through the hurt. There's a way to get through to your healing, but you absolutely have to fight for it. You absolutely have to fight for it. This is one way that you can do it. And all this is a commitment to yourself of 30 minutes a day. Love yourself enough to commit to yourself 30 minutes a day of spending time with you and getting to know who you are. Leaning into some of the pain. See, what happens is often when we are in this level of pain, we back away. We back away and then we throw a bunch of shit on top of it, y'all. We throw a bunch of shit on top of it. And that shit looks like we do a lot of work. Some of you, your success is your trauma response. I know that's a hard one to hear because you're really successful. You're a workaholic. You do all the things that need to be done. Your perfectionism is a trauma response. What does it look like to lean back and allow yourself the opportunity to see yourself for who you truly are? Now, you can keep the success. I would advise you to let go of because perfect is illusion. And that's just a major sign. I would advise you to do that. But recognize that there is more to you than that. All right, so I have a comment over here on IG. Don't mind me, y'all. I got to pull. Hey, from Houston. Hey, Renee. Girl, I just relocated to Houston. So I'm 40 and I've been divorced for 5 years. It was hard, but I started truly showing up for myself about 2 years ago. Oh my, what a difference it makes. Come on now, when you show up for you, as much as you've been showing up for other people, things change, stuff shifts. That's why I call my group Shift Queens. I call my group Shift Queens because, well, it was for women in transition. I named that group before the TikTok thing blew up. Yes, Kate. Yes, I'm in Houston. I absolutely am. I haven't really come out as far as I relocated, but yes. So, shift is like shifting through the transition, shifting through the transformation. And I've used this analogy before about when you're shifting the gears on a car, you can stuck in neutral. Something in neutral in your lives because you're afraid to shift to the next. But once you learn how to shift and you learn how to do it smoothly, it's not that difficult. Hey there, Laura, Queen Laura from South Africa. I'm in the process of divorce and I'm 50. So here's the thing. Oh my gosh. One of the men's got real mad. And said, and I did a TikTok about it. So there's a TikTok of it and it's me in a yellow shirt and I posted his comment. And what's funny about that TikTok is literally I was going to push a button and then the song came on and it took me by surprise. So I did the dance trend and then I threw that on top of it. But anyway, if you see that TikTok and I look surprised, that's what it is because I was surprised that the song came on. But anyway, neither here nor there. And so what he said was, these women go out here and they get 50, they get divorced, they form these support groups and they travel the world and they talk about they living their best life. Like he was saying all these things like they were a bad thing and like we were lying. Like, and here's the thing. He was like, and then they don't take responsibility and accountability for what happened in their marriage and they blame their husbands. And I was like, absolutely not. If you know me, like if you've been around me long enough, if you watched any of my videos, you know that I have not blamed that man. Now, he has some culpability, but I too had culpability. So I take responsibility for what happened in my marriage. I took responsibility for my part, and I'm going to let him sit with his. I take responsibility for my part, and I let him sit with his. So he was so angry. And so I get all of these people who say things like, oh, the Godfather is twirling in his grave. And I'm like, what'd I do to the Godfather? And so he said, we do all of these things. We live our best lives. And then we be talking about we want to get married again. It's so strange to me, right? And as a therapist, I've encountered a lot of different people. I've encountered a lot of different issues, and I'm able to hold space for a lot of things. But it's really weird to me how many grown men are so obsessed with women that they don't know, and they speak so negatively about it. But here's what they don't understand. They don't understand that a real woman sees it as projection. Like I understand that basically what you're saying when you say, you're only using your husband. What you're saying is, I can imagine a woman being with me and being with me because she truly loved me. I can imagine anyone who was with me, and the only reason that they're with me is because they love me. Every woman who's with me has to be using me because I don't find myself lovable. So when you do that, that's what I see. That's what the therapist in me sees. The therapist in me, and I don't be trying to call people out because I ain't trying to be all unethical and stuff, but I don't fight fair. So that's why I don't fight. But I will tell you, you're insecure. It's an insecurity. And when your insecurities show up like that, we're not buying it. So women who understand who they are, who are firm in that understanding, we don't fall for the okie doke. And I will say that before I had fallen for the okie doke, as a therapist, as a coach, as the person who people have told me, Rhonda, you've been like this your whole life. I have had the same best friend since I was in second grade. And she was like, you have been like this. Like, I was always the person that people went to for advice. And here's what people tend to think. People tend to believe, because I would hear this myself, particularly when I was in a season of depression and anxiety, because I would show up on the internet and I would bless the people, y'all. When I tell you I would bless the people, I'm out there giving out all this good knowledge and and then I would have my husband looking at me like, how you doing all of that and you can't do none of this for you? And I'm like, that part wasn't for me. Some of these things that are for me, they're also for you. So when I'm sharing this, I'm not being hypocritical. Sometimes it's me hearing it for the first time too. Like, that's how the Holy Spirit does. Like, you can convict yourself. And so if you understand that, then you will cheapen the gift. You will cheapen the message by saying, oh, well, how you gonna tell me what to do when you still going through it? So here's the thing. When I was in a space of unhealedness, when I was fighting for my life, literally, I was fighting for my life because I had to fight that I did not want to be here. I had to fight that I wanted to die. I literally would beg God, please, God, just take me out. I would do those things, right? I can show you Facebook Lives where people was like, oh my gosh, that Facebook Live completely changed my life. I spent 20 minutes with you and it changed my life. I recognize that that's the gift. And so anytime that I feel like I want to chill and step back from showing up, I recognize that that's an opposition of how I was designed to be. That was an opposition of my gift. So lady says sometimes the truth is necessary. No fight though. Exactly. Like I can express the truth and be like, yo, and then we ain't gotta fight. Ain't even gotta be worried about it. Like people on Facebook, even the people that I know on Facebook who have never commented on anything else that I've posted. If I post a video, which I find them hilarious. Like I think my TikToks are funny. Like sometimes, am I the only one? Am I the only one TikTok? You do a TikTok and then you spend so much time laughing while you put it together. Like I think my TikToks are hilarious. And so I post these things because again, I'm showing other people like, yo, you ain't got to take this shit. Like you ain't got to take this, but you also ain't got to get in the ring and get with these folks. Because you know what? My mom used to tell me never wrestle a pig. Because the pig's gonna like it and you're both gonna end up dirty. So I'm not gonna wrestle the pig, but I'm gonna tell you, I won't engage now. If I engage with you, just know it's about to be fun had on my part. Because I can hold my own. I'm okay. I'm okay. I can take it. I can do it. I'm not afraid of any of that. I can hold my own, but I do it for the people who are sitting on the other side, who have to hear other people who are saying these things. Yes, after being with my spouse, I know he's projecting. Yes, people will project their shit onto you, and they will be completely convinced that is you, not them. And so I'm just gonna put a mirror back on you. I'm gonna put a mirror back on you. I desire to be married. I have not dated since 19. How to date again? All right. So that's one of the things I'm gonna be talking about on in Patreon, in the Patreon group, because I done started dating again. Y'all done started dating again. I started dating again. And the men that have come on and told me when nobody want me, they lying. They lied. The ones who said ain't nobody gonna want no 50-year-old divorced woman, they lied. I didn't believe them anyway. But here's the thing. I wasn't concerned. I was concerned about, yeah, listen. So here's the thing. One of the guys said, "Well, nobody gonna want me because I'm a 50-year-old woman going through menopause." I absolutely am. Because the way these hot flashes be flashing. But let me tell you, the ones that want you, they want you. But you've got to want yourself. That got to come from the inside out. You draw to you what you are, right? So if, and I mean this in the least victim blaming way, right? But if you don't do the work, if you don't do the work to shore yourself up with who you are and how you will end up attracting other people to you who are not good for you. If you are unhealed, you're going to draw to you people who are attracted to your unhealedness. Oh, ask me how I know. If you are unhealed, you will draw to you people who are attracted to your unhealedness. And that's not a place to be, because a lot of people who are attracted to unhealedness, they don't know, they don't know how to help you. They will sometimes harm you more. So get sure about your healness. Lean into it. So I would say, how to date again, honey child, just get out there and do it. I went through the same thing. I was like, I have not dated since I was a young woman, and I didn't even have a lot of experience dating then. Like, I was such a student of college. Like, I'm just like, I'm just in school trying to get my life, and I come back out and I meet my husband. And I find myself now 50. I was 50 when we separated. 52 when we finally divorced. And, I'm like, what is dating even? Dating looks different than it used to look. I've been on a couple of dates. I've been on a few dates. But you know what I allow myself to do? I allow myself to go out and have fun and just be like, this doesn't have to be the end all be all. Like, I know how to have a conversation with people. Now, here's the thing I will tell you. I really enjoy being in the house. I'm a bit of a homebody. Good morning. I'm a bit of a homebody. Yes, Marie, let the church say amen. Hey, Jamie. I'm a bit of a homebody, so it takes a lot for me to get out. And Jack Daniels has that thing where he said he ain't gonna find you on your couch. Well, he gonna need to find me on my couch. He gonna find me online. Matter of fact, never mind. Anyway, so how do you date again? I would say just get out there and start. Like, go to the places. Online dating is all the rage. That's what all the cool kids are doing. Oh, thanks, Renee. Renee said, I truly appreciate you sharing. You helped me. Or lie down with dogs and get their fleas. Come on now. Shuck, if this all me, I'm blessed doing the work to improve myself inside out. Yes. Estrogen. That's what I was looking for. Thanks, sis. Works very well to combat those menopauses. I was literally the other day, I was like, my friend was talking about something she took for her hot flashes. I can't remember the name of it. Estrogen. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. See, I get on these lives. It's a give and receive. I'm 54 and scared to death. I met some fools. So here's the thing. And I was talking to someone about that. So that was Renee. And Brownie said, hell, been with my spouse since 25, now 55. I know, but I'm fresh out of the marriage. Dating myself. Yes. And that's what I started doing. I was like, look, I'm going to date myself. Why do people focus so much on relationship? Love your life. Yes. So get into that. I fell head over heels in love with Rhonda. Let me tell you. I was like, and her name is me. And she loves me more than you ever know. Y'all know that song? I know I can't sing, but I'm going to do it. I found that loving you and loving me just didn't seem to work at all. Come on now. I need to do a TikTok with that. So I started dating myself. I started doing for myself what I did for other people, which is give myself unconditional positive regard. Like, what does that look like? To say, you know what, Rhonda, yeah, in this area, you might have messed up. In this area, you might not have shown up as your best. In this area, you might have known better, but didn't do better. But we're gonna forgive you. We're gonna forgive you because nobody said you were perfect. You are not perfect. And God still loves you. You are not perfect. Give yourself some room. Give yourself some room. Give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to love you. Allow yourself to fall in love with you. And so part of falling in love with me meant that I had to get rid of folks who weren't able to fall in love with me. So Reset, experience on finding yourself and live your life. Ain't nobody have time to be passing their false teeth. Come on now. So it's just really like I was very intentional about what does it look like to love Rhonda wholly. because as much as I was speaking life into other people, I was not doing the same thing for myself. I was not speaking life into me. I was believing the schemes and the words of the enemy, and I was falling prey to that. And so now I recognize that when I start to get to that place where I'm starting to hear those false narratives about myself, and I'm starting to believe that, I go, oh no, I gotta remind myself of what God said about me, because that's leaning into jeopardizing my purpose. God's gonna get from me everything that He's put in me. He's gonna get from me, but I can delay it by tangling around with things of the enemy. You're not. Some of you are following me, some of you are not. And so I recognize that when I was in spiritual warfare, right? When I was in spiritual warfare, it wasn't working out because I was believing some things that I was hearing that were not of God. Some of you are caught up in believing things that are not of God. You're believing what mere mortals have to say about you. You're believing that negative thought in your head. I have a client. I'm not gonna tell you what he calls it, but he's named that part of his that speaks to him in a negative way. This man moved me to Houston 4 years, turned our adult children against me, and I'm here by myself. Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. So I am in the Houston area, and I need to, just from a professional perspective, I need to get out and start making some connections. I'm a leadership trainer. You know, I do trainings back in Indiana. I got pretty well known, and so I really need to get out and start. I'll probably be doing some live events here. So Renee, if that's something that interests you, make sure you're following me. Make sure you get on my mailing list, get in my group. So Brownie says, I work from home. I look forward to positive energy. I'm doing right now. All right. Do you see patients outside your state? No. So I coach clients from all over. I have international clients, right? I coach clients from all over. I do not see people for therapy anymore. I only have a couple clients left that once I'm done with them, I'm done. Therapy is different than coaching. Like, I really don't want to dive into the deep dives of your trauma. Like, I literally have coaching clients who also have therapists. I have coaching clients who also have therapists. But what I find is my genius is in getting in the moment and helping people to break through whatever that thing is that's holding them hostage. And so for some of you, you may need one call with me, RhondaLet'sTalk.com. And if you go to my page, which let me show you my page, RhondaLet'sTalk.com, right there, you'll see all of my things. This is me on Facebook. You can see it. Please form a group in the Cypress Katy area. Okay, well, so I have virtual groups, and I'll be doing some virtual stuff. I need y'all to keep me accountable to the things that I know I need to do. So part of it is I'm going to be doing some virtual groups. I'm going to do group program, and yeah, I'll probably be doing some live stuff. We'll see. I just got to get the lay of the land. So people doubt they stay here. I can't make it, won't make it. Can you recommend a spiritual director? As far as a spiritual director, I'm not sure. I've done some spiritual coaching, but that's usually by accident. This is what happens, y'all. This is what happens. So I have clients where when I first started doing this work, right, I wasn't really that I didn't know God the way I know God now, right? I didn't know God the way I know God now. And because of it, there were certain things I just wouldn't say. Like, I wouldn't say certain things. And oh, thanks, Miss Gwen. She said, hey, hello, sis, you look beautiful. And once my relationship with God got different, got stronger, got closer, right? Once I understood, I started calling people out on certain things. And I had a client, oh gee, what did he say? So I have male clients. I have a couple male clients, and this one is hilarious. He cracks me up. He basically said, dang it, I can't find it. Oh, it's over there in my notebook. He was like, ooh, why you stepping on my toes today? You came for me. And I'm just, I don't have a problem being like, is that what God told you to do? Because some of you in your disobedience, you're missing what it is that God told you to do. If you're on my Facebook page, I posted something to that, right? Feel free to follow me on Facebook too. It's okay, Jamie. So if you're on Facebook, you're seeing this, this is the link for the journal. This is the link to become a patron. And so some of you are just like, yo, I just want to support what you're doing. I have a $5 a month level. You can get in Patreon $5 a month. But then the $10 and the $25 a month contribution gets you my office hours and my some of the things I've been doing, the Shift Queens. Keep in mind that I will be doing a talk show. I'm dead serious. If you are interested in being a guest on my talk show, which is basically going to be us having a conversation and me doing a little laser coaching, hit me up in one of my inboxes. And eventually I'll have a form or something, but I feel like that's something I need to get on sooner rather than later because God gave me that. Post your Facebook information. Renee, if you go to shiftqueens.com or if you go to rhondagipsonwillis.com, just look at my post and my link. If you go to the link in my bio, it'll take you to all that. It has the link to my Facebook page, my YouTube page, my IG page, all of my pages. But shiftqueens.com, and my name is Rhonda Gipson, Gipson Willis. So I also have an ebook, and then there's a link to join my Shift Queens group. So if you go to rhondagipsonwillis.com, well, here's what I want to show you for those of you who are looking for resources and looking for therapists. If you go to the very top, it says Amazon store and more. Hey sis, I'm actually 52. Gwen loves this one. I say I chose peace over principle. She said, tell them to choose peace over principle. So I have an Amazon Connect where if there's something that you guys are like, hey, where'd you get that? And I got it from Amazon, I'm gonna post a link for y'all. Like these earrings, I get asked about these earrings a lot. They came in a 4-pack on Amazon, I think $12.99. So I posted a link in there. So if you go in that link in my bio, but if you look over at resources, right? I think this is something you get in prayer. You can submit your spiritual walks to anyone because that's a very fragile part of you. God will reveal that person through prayer. Yes, that's a good response. So if you go to resources, you will see some of the things that I've posted in terms of finding a therapist for those of you who are looking for a therapist in your area. And because I'm a Black therapist, I tend to be, and I know that people are really looking for Black therapists. I put a lot of resources for people to find Black therapists, but there's you can also find therapists of any hue. So there's a Black-owned private practice in Illinois called Growing Boundlessly. My friend owns that, and it's amazing. Mostly Black clinicians. So if you're in Illinois, the state of Illinois, but there's some links for getting help paying for therapy, how to find the therapy, and podcast, Therapy for Black Girls podcast. And if you're in South Bend, there's a link for getting help paying for therapy, right? So you can get pro bono therapy. And so as resources become more, if I become more aware of them, I'll add them on that. But all things Rhonda Gipson-Willis, if you go to rhondagipsonwillis.com, you can find that. So let me get back to Gotta Go Queen. Peace and blessings. Thank you, girl. Thank you. So so I'm, basically I understand that part of what it is that I do is I show up. I show up in moments like this. When God says show up and there's only 49 people in one or 7 in the other or 1 watching in one, I'm still supposed to show up for the one. I'm here for the one. I have a bunch of other stuff I need to be doing. Listen, I need to be on here building these funnels. What's this? I need to be building these funnels. I need to be doing these things. But I'm taking the time and I'm showing up because I never know who it is that needs to hear it, but I always know somebody needs to hear it. Oh, Kate says, my therapist has a prompt. I forgive myself for judging myself for. That's a really good prompt, which takes me back to this shameless plug. In this journal, I have 30 days worth of prompts. 30 days worth of prompts. And there's also quotes. This one, I like this one. If there's one thing I'm willing to bet on, it's myself. That's a quote from the Queen Bee, Beyonce herself. That's Beyonce. And so I have a lot of different things in here that can help you on your journey, right? On your journey It's the best $25 you can likely spend to help you get from where you're at to where you need to be. $25. It's on Amazon. You can order it. It takes no time to get there. The link is in my bio. All of my bios has the link to where you can find this, as well as my healing ebook that also has questions. See, I'm a coach's coach. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa said, "Me, I need to hear this." I'm a coach's coach. And so I'm going to ask really good questions. That's what I do. I ask really good questions. And so there's going to be a variety of ways for you to interact with me if that's something that you're looking for. So one way is going to be that ebook that I have. The other is going to be the journal. Dedicate 30 days. 30 days. It will change your life. I promise you. You give yourself 30 days. It will change your life. 30 days. And so there's some other things I'm going to be doing. If there are things you guys think of that you need from me, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to show up. I'll be more than happy to show up. Yeah. So yeah, because that's the season I'm in. I'm always in the season of where God is saying for me to show up. I haven't been showing up as much as I need to, so I'm going to come back and doing that. Wait till y'all see my setup. So I took a picture of this whole thing because I'm trying to maximize, the impact, right? I went live on TikTok yesterday for like 30 minutes or so. And my goal is to maximize my impact. So I'm literally online. I'm streaming through Facebook. I'm streaming in my Shift Queens group. I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on IG, and I'm streaming on TikTok. So if you want to see more of me, make sure you're following me in one of those places. I'll be coming through with more things. I'm going to be putting more effort and energy into the Patreon group in terms of sharing other things I'm not going to share more in the public. And but just know I'm still here, and there's more coming for this upcoming year. God has really brought me through a lot of things, and my goal is to share that journey and share the breadcrumbs along the way to help other people to get to their healing. Again, I want to be the Harriet Tubman of healing. I got my healing. I'm coming back to get you. I'm coming back to get you. I'm coming back to get you. I know where the bear traps are. I know where the shortcuts are. I know where it is that we need to be in order to get what it is that we need out of this process. And I'm not just using my personal experience. I have clinical experience. I have coaching experience. And so I believe that God has positioned me here for such a time as this, to help other women and men who are struggling through this. I saw something, one of the naysayers on my Facebook page. Man, I tell you, they'd be real mad. They'd be big mad. One of the naysayers on my Facebook page said that, he talked about how, women just want to get divorced and do all of this. 70% of divorces or something, whatever percent of divorces are initiated by women. And I looked up the stat because I'm like, yo, he's pulling stuff out of his butt. But I wanted to really know. And the truth is that it's either 70, I believe it is 70%. 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And of that, 90% of those are from women who are college educated. And I'm not saying that means that they're smarter or that they have more resources or they have anything else, but this is just what the research said. And so my pushback to him was, if you know that divorce is being initiated by women, instead of getting mad about it, why don't y'all man up? Like, man up. Do what you need to do to keep the women in your lives. Like, do what you need to do to keep the women in your lives. Understand what's the disconnect. And so he was the one that was mad about women leaving and then living their best lives. And, the research also says something about men in this season who are finding themselves lonelier than ever, right? The research, I didn't make this up. It was in Psychology Today. Men are lonelier than ever because women are requiring more. And there are some men who are failing to rise to the occasion. Like, they lack. And again, I'm not bashing men. I'm just telling you what the research says. They are lacking the emotional intelligence, the emotional regulation, the skill set, the wherewithal to invest in the skill set to be compatible as as mates. And when I see some of the responses that come to some of my videos of me not hurting anybody, I'm not hurting anybody. Y'all, the man I left is not as mad as was not as mad as me as the man that I don't know, who are mad about me leaving him. Like, it's just like, make it make sense. And so, I think we all have some opportunities to invest and grow. And I took responsibility for my growth. I took a responsibility. I didn't put it in anybody else's hand. I didn't say, you know what, yo, if he needs to apologize for me for X, Y, and Z, apologies will be nice, but I'm not counting on anybody else's action to determine whether or not I heal. I just didn't feel like I had the time to sit and wait around for somebody else to do something. I have been wronged by people. I have been wronged by people because I'm a very trusting person. And I've also wronged some people because I didn't establish boundaries. So in this season of my life, I'm about establishing boundaries. I'm about owning my shit. I'm about just making sure that I'm consistently doing the work to stay faithful to what it is that God has for me. And I encourage others to do the same. So again, if you want to be along for the ride, TikTok, make sure you're following me. IG, follow me. Y'all can check me out on Facebook. You get a little bit more of my personality probably there. I enjoy doing TikToks. I think they're fun. Anytime you see me responding to some man, and I actually did a response using a sound that after I slept on it, I woke up, I was convicted. I was convicted and I hid it. But because the response basically said, I agree with the first part, I agree with the part of the last part, but the middle said something about they belonged in the insane asylum, and that wasn't for me to say. So I deleted it as a response to him, but most of the time I'm just responding. And I have another one that I'm working on. I started doing it, and it would have been out yesterday, but TikTok limited the number of stickers that I could put on for some reason. And so I have to go back and edit it. But I think it's funny. And I hope that it gives people some verbiage in how to respond to the trolls. But last time, before I go, the journal. I just called it the journal, y'all. Like, what y'all go get? Go get the journal. 30 days to jumpstart your healing journey. 30 days to jumpstart your healing journey. 30 days to jumpstart your healing journey. And when you get it, I want you, at the beginning of your 30 days, hit me up and let me know that you started. And at the end, I want you to let me know what changed. Ooh, maybe if you get I should have had you join my group. If you get the journal, join my group and then tell me how it impacts you. Okay? shiftqueens.com, Patreon. I'll be doing office hours where I'll actually be having people in. Like, literally, I'll bring you on screen and then I talk to you. You get to ask me a question. You get to ask me anything. That doesn't mean I answer everything, but you get to ask me anything. And those have gone really well over the last year. I've done them for a year in my Shift Queens group, and those have done really well. You don't necessarily have to look on Brownie. You can look on my link. I have a link straight to it in my in the bio. Link in my bio. If you hit the link in my bio, it takes you to my link tree like page, and it's on there. Okay, the journal. But I thank you guys for hanging with me and rocking with me today. I promise to be back more often. And I'm going to post a picture of what all of this looks like when I do it. Because I literally there's 5 screens looking at me of me. 5 screens looking at me of me. That sounds kind of narcissistic, but it's not. It's just what has to happen to make it happen. But anyway, appreciate you all. I'm going to log out of, IG gave me a time limit. So I guess IG go log itself out. All right, IG, I'm going to see y'all later. Got 18 seconds. I don't know how to end. Bye. All right. I didn't even know that was a thing. Share. All right, so I'll do that. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all, Facebook, y'all, it's been real. I'll see y'all on the other side. Y'all go check me out on the page because I'm about to post that picture of what the setup looked like. Y'all won't believe it. It's ridiculous. Bye. Don't forget, grab a journal, change your life.